Napoleon Bonaparte, How One Man Conquered Europe. Europe once got bullied by a guy who was broke, foreign, underestimated, and 5 foot something on a good day. This man didn't inherit power. He took it with math, speed, audacity, and zero chill. Kings hated him. Generals feared him. Soldiers followed him into hell. And today, his playbook still runs the world. This is Napoleon Bonaparte, and How One Man Conquered Europe. Save this. You'll want the receipts. The nobody from nowhere. Napoleon wasn't born royal. Didn't even sound French. He grew up in Corsica, the political equivalent of, yeah, that place. Poor family. Outsider accent. Bullied in school. While other kids played games, Napoleon studied history, geometry, artillery manuals. Because here's the cheat code nobody tells you. Power doesn't start with confidence. It starts with competence. He learned how cannons work, how terrain decides battles, how supply lines win wars before swords even swing. Most generals were aristocrats who got ranks as gifts. Napoleon had to earn every inch, and that made him dangerous. The French Revolution opportunity window. France explodes. Kings lose heads. Literally. The old system collapses, and when systems fall, speed beats pedigree. Napoleon sees chaos and thinks, ah yes, a ladder. At 24 years old, he saves the French government by blasting rebels with artillery. Not speeches, not vibes, cannons. The politicians notice. Here's a lesson most people miss. Revolutions don't reward the loudest. They reward the most useful. Napoleon becomes a general at an age when most people are still figuring things out. Europe laughs. They shouldn't have. How Napoleon actually won. Napoleon didn't fight wars like everyone else. Old generals moved slow. Napoleon moved like a caffeinated chess engine. His unfair advantages. Speed. Armies marched faster than anyone thought possible. Focus. He smashed one enemy before the others could react. Math. Artillery placed with surgical precision. Morale. Soldiers felt seen. He knew their names, ate their food. While kings sat in tents, Napoleon slept near the front lines. And here's the wild part. His enemies outnumbered him constantly. But numbers don't matter if you hit first, hit smart, and hit hard. This wasn't brute force. This was systems warfare. Save that line. The Italian campaign. Receipts time. Napoleon gets sent to Italy. France expects him to stall. Instead, he embarrasses Europe. Outnumbered, undersupplied. He splits enemy armies, isolates them, wipes them out one by one. Generals twice his age start copying his moves. Soldiers worship him. Paris starts sweating. Because when one man gets too effective, the system starts feeling threatened. The real power move, not battles. Here's the angle nobody talks about. Napoleon didn't just conquer land. He conquered administration. He standardized laws, rebuilt education, centralized government. The Napoleonic Code still shapes legal systems today. Translation. Even when his armies left, his rules stayed. That's real power. Anyone can win a fight. Few can redesign the game. Crowning himself. Zero humility mode. Napoleon becomes emperor. And in the most unhinged power move of the century, he crowns himself. Not the Pope. Not tradition. Him. Because he understood something timeless. Authority doesn't come from permission. It comes from proof. Europe panics. Coalitions form. Everyone wants him gone. The beginning of the end. Hubris check. Napoleon's weakness wasn't strategy. It was scale. Too many fronts. Too much confidence. Too much belief that systems bend forever. Then came Russia. Winter. Distance. Supply failure. Nature didn't negotiate. The empire cracked. Exile. Return. Final defeat. But don't miss this. Even in loss, Europe never went back to the old world. Napoleon had already changed it. Final takeaway. Why this still matters. Napoleon proves something uncomfortable. History isn't driven by destiny. It's driven by people who learn faster than others. He wasn't the strongest. He wasn't the richest. He was the most prepared. And that's why kings feared him. If this changed how you see power, even a little, save this. If it made you uncomfortable, share it. That's usually a sign it's true. And if you don't want to be the last person in your circle, still believing power is about luck, subscribe. We break down the systems nobody explains, the rules nobody updates, and the stories history politely edits out. Because the game never stopped evolving. And neither should you.